Eremos is more than a name. It's a way of life. It's our sanctuary, our escape from the noise, and our connection to the deeper meaning of our lives. It's about finding joy in the outdoors, seeking growth, and leaving the world a better place than we found it. Welcome to Elevate and Explore, a podcast where we dive into the beauty of nature, self-discovery, and the endless possibilities that come with living intentionally. Welcome to our journey.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Baker,
And I'm Ryan Bailey.
and this is another episode of the Elevate and Explore podcast. Welcome back.
Excited to be here and have a place to cool down with how hot it's been lately. It sounds like it's been hot everywhere.
Yeah, I was just out in Salt Lake City and it was 97, 98, 101. When I got back into Newark yesterday, it was 100 degrees. It's freaking toasty.
What on earth were you doing in Salt Lake City?
So out in Salt Lake City, I was out at it's called the Legends Breakthrough event. It's a community I joined back in November. My mentor, Alex Lovely, he puts on these events. It's all about elevating your mindset, overcoming limiting beliefs, really digging deep within yourself to figure out who you are and overcoming roadblocks, finding your purpose. A little bit about real estate, a little bit about speaking, just a amazing transformational process. I've been to two of the events so far, and they've really helped me elevate my life and change things for the better. I highly encourage everybody to go. It's totally worth it. Next one is in January out in Las Vegas. If you want to go, you can visit legendsbreakthrough.com.
So I understand the frustration here, and I'd just like to add something that, a lot of these events, they cost a good bit of money. You have to have a hotel, you got to have some travel, you likely got to go get some fresh clothes and a suit. But I think, it'd probably be safe to say if a person had $1,000 to go and just frivolously spend on something, here I am sitting here wanting to buy a gun and trying to justify it. But to go to an event, you have to show up, you look presentable, you look clean, you got a new fresh mindset, you probably got a little bit of fear and intimidation. They are absolutely the greatest investment you'll ever make in your life, to just go and expand your mind, see things. I've been to a couple of them where it's just like you walk in and there's this energy of however many people you can fit in the building, depends on how big the building is. And every one of them is just energetic and just fun to be around, good values, and just a new crowd of people that many are not used to seeing in such a large place. So
Not only is it the energy while you're there, anytime I'm at those events, I always carry that energy around with me for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's something that everybody needs to experience. Oftentimes when people think of self-development seminars or events that maybe they're too good for that, or I do enough work on my own. It's more than that. It's when you're surrounded by all these like-minded people trying to do something similar, trying to elevate yourself to the next level. It's some of those things it's hard to do on your own. So it's nice to get in a group of people and people up on stage who know what the heck they're talking about. Yes, there's some that maybe you might feel it's a waste of money, somewhere they're just trying to sell you something and not really providing much value. But like this one specifically, the Legends Breakthrough, worth every minute of your time. Our time is our most valuable thing, so totally worth the time and totally worth the monetary investment. So yeah, even if you don't go to that one, look up one, find one in your area. Don't be afraid to go and expand your mind and get around other people who are trying to grow and expand.
Even a new church setting, or going to a book signing or something just different, somewhere that you have a chance to be around a bunch of people that may have a similar interest is a really great thing. And if you can get some extreme takeaways out of it and put an investment towards your future with some new tactics, tricks, or otherwise thoughts or ideas, it is an amazing place for that. Plus you get to meet so many good people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the biggest thing with these things is the community I've built around them. Tonight I have a call with one of the guys from this weekend. I actually have to make 2 calls after this. One guy's calling me soon, and then I have to call back another guy. So I stay in touch with a lot of these people, and it's they almost become accountability partners. So to me anymore, a community, I like to call it tribe rather than community, my soul tribe. It just, it's, you got to get rid of that lone wolf syndrome that you can, life is too short to go through it alone, whether it be business, whether it be personal, whether it be a hobby or something. It's so much better when you have a tribe around you to do it with.
Yeah, and that kind of executive board, if you will, of the people you surround yourself with. There's no doubt that we absolutely need our family. We have our personal relationships. We have business relationships. We have a relationship with God. We have a relationship with friends. We all have to prioritize a person in that group that we can always lean on when there's a trouble with one of those areas. And having a community around you that is a tribe or a board or somebody to just check in with and make sure you're not alone it's just so great. Your accountability partner is exactly what that is, and it's a great thing to have in life.
Sure. Yeah. It's nice when you're slacking with someone or slacking with something, and you can call someone up and be like, hey, I'm struggling today. Is there, have any words for me? Or just as simple as telling you to suck it up and you got this.
Yeah. That's sometimes what it takes. Is it sucks for so long and it takes so much out of you, and it's hard to keep going, but that's what it is. It's just another day of what you were doing yesterday. In some aspects, not everything has to be that way, but typically the grind and the hustle includes that.
Mm-hmm. So something we went over this weekend, having people in your life that can be truly honest with you for the good and the bad. So we did this exercise where we had to go around the room, and we had to pick out 3 people. We had to go up and say something we find attractive about them and something we find unattractive. And now when I say attractive, unattractive, I don't mean looks. I mean, you could have said that, but it's more like qualities. So I went up to someone and I said, hey, you're he has a bunch of businesses. He's paid for everybody for dinner. He's just an amazing human being. Hey, you are such a good person. You're giving, you're kind, you're an excellent business leader. I find that so attractive about you. And then for him, I didn't really have anything negative to say. Went to another person. Hey, you're an amazing human being. You're a great speaker. Something I find negative about you. He did a speech that day. Hey, when you did your speech, it kind of really sounded, super scripted. Didn't really felt like it came from the heart. You kind of sounded robotic. And he didn't take it personally. He took it as great. Someone gave me some negative feedback, something I can get improvement on. So we can't always look at getting negative feedback as a bad thing. When you're getting it from someone you trust, it means that they mean the best for you. They want to see you improve. So me telling him that, he was like, wow, I'm really happy you told me that. I did kind of feel that, but I'm glad that I heard that someone in the audience, felt that as well. So that gives me something to improve on the next time I get on stage, to try and have it come more from the heart rather than just like I'm reading a script.
Yeah.
So getting negative feedback can be a good thing, but it's in this society, nobody likes to give constructive criticism. They only like to say the good things or the really bad things that is just super negative. That's not going to help you.
Well, nobody wants to give constructive criticism. Everybody wants to, hand out criticism, and nobody wants to receive bad, non-constructive criticism. So
Yeah.
it's a double-edged
Yeah.
sword, but the truth and the honesty of it is, where the win comes from.
Yeah. So it just kind of comes down to that, being in that container, you call it, there was this room full of trust. Everybody was walking around with faith and trust in the other ones that this negative feedback was going to help them.
Yeah.
So, find community, find people who you can trust, and you can get negative feedback to grow.
And I think, just I haven't done a tremendous amount of public speaking, but I've had to step up in a few instances where you're in a large group of people. There's a little bit of stage fright, and you always look at yourself as the worst speaker on earth. Everything you said was garbage. Your message didn't get across. You sounded like crap. You stuttered. You this, you that. And at the end of it, everybody gives you an applause, and you're like, "I did it. I didn't. That didn't sound so bad." And that limiting belief in that ceiling, that box that you put yourself in. Hearing somebody say everything was great. The one thing that we did catch was this, and you're like, just like you said earlier, is like I felt that. Thanks for validating it. Now you know that you just don't do that again.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, and the whole public speaking thing, I was always, oh, I don't want to speak in public. I almost failed a freaking class in college. We had to write a paper and then present it, and that my time came, and I kind of just shrunk down my chair and was like, I'm not doing it. And they're like, what do you mean you're not doing it? I was like, I'm not doing it. I was the last person to go, and she was just like, all right, whatever. And then the next class next week, she talked to me after the class. I was like, all right, I'll do it next class. And I eventually did it. Didn't fail the class, but whatever. So my whole, everybody has this fear of public speaking, and I always did just like anybody else. And the past couple months, after creating all this content I'm making on social media, and I kind of thought, I have now that I know I have a story that matters. I'm out there telling something that matters to me. It makes it much easier to speak. So like, you know what, maybe I do belong up on a stage. And this past weekend, I had an opportunity where, the main speaker, she called me up on stage at one point, and I just started talking, and it felt natural. I felt I wasn't uncomfortable at all, didn't sweat, didn't stutter, didn't fall, felt great. And then 2 days later, she gave me my own spot on the stage for 5 or 10 minutes, and I just was up there and I owned that freaking stage, and I got so many compliments, other people seeing this in me, and I kind of had some self-doubt about it there for a little bit, like, am I, this self-doubt sinks in, like, am I actually worthy? Did I actually do a good job? Is this something I should do? And then so many people came up to me and said, hey, you look so natural up there. This is probably something you should pursue and you should do. And I thought about it more, and started letting that self-doubt go. And I was like, you know what? That did feel good. I was actually pretty good up there. I did enjoy that. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm on to something here. So oftentimes we get this self-doubt in us, and it keeps us from doing something that maybe we're meant to be doing.
I have a story on that I would like to share publicly. That I think that same speech class that you had failed was like a speech 101 or English 101 class.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, and I had that one, and I said, I am not speaking in this class. I will escape. I will do whatever that I had to do to not speak in that class. Well, timing came up that you just couldn't get away from it. And I don't know if we had met at the time or if it was about the same time, but I was very uncomfortable with having a red beard and blonde hair. It always made me feel self-conscious and gave me self-doubt that I really had a good looking beard. So I thought that if I had used Just for Men to darken it up a little bit and get rid of the patchy areas, it would look good. And it's always been a little patchy, but it's okay. Well, after I used that Just for Men the wrong way, it just for screwed me up because it looked like I had a beaver hanging on my chin. And the next day, it was a kind of a surprise that we had to speak in front of the class about the paper that we had started writing. And somebody's got a video out there of me standing up on stage with this jet black beard, completely out of, like, I looked out of my element, and I still managed to do it. So all the self-doubt was gone, and it's like, man, if I can do this, I can do anything. And maybe that rooted some bravery in me. But that self-doubt is a treacherous thing to believe into. And I think, I mentioned earlier, or maybe I think it was just when we were talking, I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, but like the last week has been very much a spiritual dive for me. Just I had a lot of free time. We obviously drove back from Pennsylvania, and just had a lot of time to sit and think. And really, first thing was to be grateful for all of it. And then the second piece was, this spiritual thought process of getting from point A to point B, and a lot of my belief lately has been in that I am good enough, I am deserving of love, I am capable, and it's got me in this new mindset where like I do have that bravery and that ability to just look at a situation, go do it, and tackle it because I already know that I've done it in the past, I've screwed it up, and I've learned from it. And looking forward, you don't get a chance to think about self-doubt because it's a sinful thought. It's almost like you're being bit by the proverbial snake and injected with venom that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're unlovable, you're the problem, you're the reason for the fault here, or the whole list of things that we internally tell ourselves that are just absolute lies. They are not truths, and they're not fact or honest or evident. So when we remove those and just don't think about that stuff, it makes you an entirely different person. Like I was driving down the road the other day and I was happy that I didn't have a flat tire. I was happy that I had, the breeze blowing through the window and it was just nice view and all the things. Like it was just little things to be grateful for. And that looking at the positive gratefulness and constant gratitude has helped eliminate some of that self-doubt and some of those, shady thoughts and some of those negative thoughts and the things that are ultimately just detrimental to whatever it is that we're trying to become.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the self-doubt is really holds us back from a lot and can create bad situations in our life where if we follow what our mind is telling us rather than doubt it, it would take us to such greater places. And something I found is, I have self-doubt with some things, and then other people see in me what I'm believing, but also doubting at the same point. And then sometimes it takes other people to see it within you and tell you about it to make you realize, like, hey, maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe I need to stop doubting myself about it. Maybe I need to follow this. Maybe there's something more.
So I have a question on that. Can you
Yeah,
repeat that statement one more time?
that oftentimes we doubt ourselves, and there's something in us that tells us we should be doing it and that we're good at something, but maybe we're like, maybe not. Maybe I'm actually suck at it and I'm just think I am. And then somebody else sees it within us and they tell us that they think we have something great within us, that same thing that we're doubting. And then it takes them telling us, hey, I see this in you. I see it in me, but I'm doubting it. But now that I see that you see it within me and I see it, maybe it's actually true and I should stop doubting myself about it and follow it rather than try and push it down, push it away, tell myself that I'm not going to be good at it.
So at any point, do you believe that there's some perception that you care about what other people think in that statement? Or is it because that you see your worth and somebody told you about your worth and now you have confidence to go tackle whatever it is that was holding you back?
Yeah, so like the example would be, the speaking this past weekend. Um, I kind of always had self-doubt about speaking. I'm more open to it. I was more open to it, but still had some self-doubt that maybe it's something I should do. And then, after I did it this weekend, I had a bunch of people come up to me, hey, you look so natural up there. This is something you should probably pursue. Like one of the main speakers, she's spoke around the world. She teaches people how to speak. She's had radio shows. She's had TV stations. And she really is like, hey, you're going to be great at this. This is something you should pursue. And she gave me, she trusted me with her stage. She gave me the stage to myself. I was the only one up there speaking to the crowd for a little bit. And, just getting that, I guess, validation from somebody who is a professional in it and telling me, hey, I really see something in you. That validated the feeling I already had a little bit, but I was pressing down, telling myself that this probably isn't true. So it took somebody else, multiple other people saying, hey, I see this in you. You should probably do this to make it click like, maybe I'm on to something here.
And you had some resistance before doing it. You said you were a little intimidated, and then you went and did it anyway. And obviously your confidence grew because you apparently did a really good job in, some self-doubt. So you had confidence and faith in yourself that no matter what happened, you weren't going to let fear overcome that thought.
Exactly. I was not going to let the fear stop me from doing it. I felt that I had to do it, that it felt like a calling rather than just, oh, maybe I should just get up on stage. It just felt so real. Not sure exactly how to explain it, other than it just felt like a calling that I had to get up there and do it.
Did it feel surreal, as if it could have been imaginary, or did it feel like reality, like this is where you see yourself? Like, is it the difference between that you did not see yourself there, or you see yourself being there?
It felt like I belonged up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you for that, because that was a
Thank
huge
you.
step, and I admire you
Yes.
for it.
Thank you. Yeah. So just, having that confidence within myself now that, this is something I should pursue and I'm going to pursue it fully. Um, something else they talked about this weekend is don't say yes to something unless, for lack of better terms, a fuck yes. And for me, the speaking just became a fuck yes, and I, signed up, and I'm gonna, go learn how to be a speaker. It just feels like something I have to pursue.
Yeah. I like that. And that's that same, very much similar, that thought, feeling, and confidence is kind of laid over me, just thinking about, we want to tell a story, we want to help people, we want to branch out, we want to reach out, but we have to figure out like what it is that we're really trying to get across. I have had just as much of a good life or a bad life as anybody else who wants to perceive it, right? My life was
Mm-hmm.
great compared to some, it was bad compared to others. So I get to take that and tell a story based off that. I've had struggles, I've had doubts, I've had fears, I've had screw ups, I've had all kinds of things that I start thinking about. And I was like, that was one hell of a portion of life that I'm looking at as a chapter. That's a
Mm-hmm.
whole story. Well, I want to write all that story down and share it, because
Yeah.
that was a lot of cool stuff. Some of it we can't write about, some of it we shouldn't write about, but we're going to do it anyway. So, that's, I've been putting a lot of time into journaling and starting to write thoughts down, and also get some validation from sources. I've lately just been trying to read and find in the Bible anything that not just feels relatable, but just feels empowering to, dig deeper in faith. Because I realized, like, the whole self-help journey is impossible if you're on your own. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
have one other person. And you can definitely get groups of people, you can get family, you can find friends, you can do it however you choose. But all of them have some very basic laws and principles that are hands down the key, the roadmap, the whatever, the blueprint to success. And a lot of them can be found in, scripture. A lot of them can be found from a business coach. A lot of them can be found if you just spend hours and hours researching online. But you're going to have to reach out to put a little legwork in to find those answers in whichever resource you choose.
Yeah. God, I totally lost my train of thought there. Uh, I don't know. I was sorry. Maybe I lost you there a little bit. Maybe because I lost my thought. I wanted to tie up real quick, just back to the speaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that this kind of goes for anything in life. What I found, the reason why it was a hell yes, is it just felt, again, like a calling. And maybe it's not something that's going to work out long term, but in that moment, it just felt like something I have to do. That if I don't pursue it, if I don't give it a shot, I'm going to be letting myself down. So I think there's a lot of things in life where we feel that and we just kind of be like, yeah, well, maybe it's not for me. I'm just not going to pursue it. So maybe I'll do it and maybe it won't work out, but maybe I'll do it and maybe it'll be the greatest leap of faith I could have ever taken. So I just was not willing to pass up this opportunity to at least give it a shot. So that's why I was a hell yes to it, that I just, no matter what, it just felt like something I have to do. So if you ever have that feeling, freaking follow it. You have no, I have no idea where this jersey is going to go, but I know I would be very upset with myself if I didn't have the courage to say hell yes. There's a little bit of a financial, a decent sized financial commitment to it as well, to learn the process to become a speaker. But I just have full faith in myself that it's going to work out. So don't be afraid to take a leap of faith and just say hell yes to something, just dive in.
Oh, I think that's the easiest approach is if you're presented with an opportunity, try not to think about it too long. Think quick and make decisions on the fly because there is no right or wrong decision.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, if it really resonates with you, just go all in. And that was something that I really liked that they talked about this weekend. Do something. If you're going to do something, either do it 0% or 100%. There's not really an in between. That's where a lot of us become our own failures, as we try something and don't give it our full 100%. So if you're going to go after something, go after it 100% with full tenacity, and don't try it once or two times or three times. You got to try over and over and over and over and over. Success does not happen overnight. It's all about being consistent and practicing and doing and failing. You can't be afraid to fail. Without failure, there is no success. You got to suck. That's why success starts with suck. You got to suck before you become successful. Think of all the baseball players, football players, musicians. None of them are great day one. It's all the thousands and thousands of hours of practicing, refining their sport, refining their trade, refining their whatever they do. It's repetition, doing it over and over and over until you become great.
Consistency. Just do it every day.
Mm-hmm. Consistency and discipline. That's something I've been incorporating a lot into my life lately, and it's really starting to open up a lot of doors that when I wasn't consistent, doors weren't opening.
Yeah. No, that's the way it works. I mean, there's laws and principles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wrote a note also today about, I admire your health journey so far and all the tremendous work you've done. That long-term commitment, it takes forever to pay off, but it definitely, it shows.
Yeah, that's something I've been working on for a year and a half now, and for the past 15 months, 14 months, saw little practice or progress. I saw the results on the scale. I've gone down 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, but didn't really see much change in my body. Then this past weekend, I was out in Utah. I was wearing some shorts, and I walked. They have a big, tall mirror in the hotel room, and I walked by and I caught a glimpse of myself, and I stopped and was like, "Holy shit!"
Damn.
And I pulled up a picture of just a month ago, and the absolute difference was astounding. So I've made it's been no progress, and then all of a sudden a ton of progress in a short amount of time. And now I know I'll hit another wall for a little bit, but seeing that progress in the past month, the change I've made, all right, now I got to really double down. I got to keep on going. Hell yeah, buddy, I'm starting to look damn good. And this morning I put on a shirt that I haven't been able to wear in 6 years. Come on, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So totally, everything in this life worthwhile is a long game. Results take time. All too many of us give up because we aren't seeing results right away. That's not how the good things in life come. And when things do come quickly and abruptly, just think of if you were to win the lottery, for instance. The statistics on people winning the lottery and then losing it all and becoming even worse off than they were prior to winning the lottery it's astounding. Not many of them at all are able to sustain it because they didn't create the consistency, the discipline to be able to maintain that wealth. If you go and get liposuction, you didn't really change any habits. You're probably going to gain that back. It's all these things that you create new habits, new consistencies, new disciplines against it. That's what helps you maintain the results, is just that hard work over time. So that goes for life, that goes for business.
Yeah, you said it best. There's small changes over time, but you have to be in the right time frame to be able to receive such a gift of either monetary gain or the benefit of your new physique or whatever it is you're pursuing. There's a time gap in there, and it's unknown. So you just have to stay in it every single day.
Yeah, and hold faith that it's going to work out, and just know it's going to work out. It comes down to mindset. Just hey, this is what I'm going to do, no matter what. And that's what I tell myself every day. There is no turning back. I used to fall back on my word, fall back on, the biggest thing I used to do is let myself down. I tell myself, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So I've learned to be very careful with my word, first off to myself, because if you can't hold your word to yourself, you can't hold it to anybody else. So like last night, for instance, I got home, my throat hurt, I just had a headache, my head was all congested, just felt like crap. I told myself last night before I went to bed, I was like, you know what? Let's be real. I'm not going to go to the gym tomorrow. Let's change my alarm. Let's not even try and expect that I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow because I just know I'm not going to. Whereas I used to, maybe a year ago, I'd say like, you know what? I'm going to get up and go to the gym tomorrow, subconsciously knowing I'm not going to go to the freaking gym. So it's just all about being real with yourself and just not giving yourself expectations that you're not going to do. Just be real and honest and hold your word to yourself. That's been one of the biggest game changers for me.
Well, that's great stuff. That, and even like you've started off early just telling us how we were writing them on big sticky notes on the wall, just reminding yourself daily and building little consistent habits over time. It's absolutely evident. Well, you got some calls to attend to this evening, and I still have one more myself.
Okay. Well, next week we'll have to get back to earlier you had mentioned, the check signers, the people who sign checks on the back versus people who sign checks on the front. Cool.
There's two types of men in this world: the ones who sign the front of the checks and the ones who sign the backs of the check.
That'll be a good topic for next week.
We'll have to figure out what the point of that message is going to be. It's a very generic topic right now, but we'll get a good lesson in there.
It'll ferment.
It'll be all right. All right. Well, you definitely did a fantastic job at your event. I saw some clips and videos, and I just, again, to reiterate and edify you, just it was a huge leap of faith, and you did an amazing job on it. I
Appreciate you.
Definitely a proud moment, probably for you, probably for all of us, and I think it's definitely worth a watch. So, Aaron, if you don't mind, would you be able to give the viewers of the podcast some links where they can go check out your public speaking?
Yeah, so you can find me on social media. You can find me at Aaron Baker Legacy on TikTok, Instagram, on Facebook. I'm just Aaron Baker. Look it up, you'll find me. Everything's
One and
public,
only.
public. My life is nothing but public anymore. And I have nothing to hide.
The one and only.
That's right.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching, listening to this episode. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll be in touch with you for next week.
Thank you all.
Have a great one.